Hi, health coaches. It's Erin Power here with you for another episode of Health Coach Radio. And I love these solo chit chats we get to have together, which are always unscripted, but always about something that's on my mind about the coaching industry that I'm in and you're in or aspiring to be in. And I want to say hello to you because if you're listening to this podcast, you are a practicing or aspiring health, fitness, or nutrition coach. And I am also a practicing health coach, and I'm also a health coach educator. I'm on the faculty of Primal Health Coach Institute, which is a board-approved school for health coaching. We've been at this for the better part of a decade, and in that time, I've had the incredible opportunity to work with tons of coaches. So I am the coaching director at that school and really get to help create with an amazing team, an educational journey for health coaches that I think is top-notch, one of the best in the industry. I myself teach an advanced coaching course where I get to directly interact with health coaches and help mentor and train them to what I would consider to be mastery of the health coaching, techniques. So the point is I get to spend a lot of time with health coaches and I feel like as an educator and a health coach, I have my finger on the pulse of the industry. And this industry is relatively new and growing rapidly. And the need for health coaching is becoming more and more and more predominant. So, what I want to talk about today is my thoughts, feelings, and predictions for health coaching in 2026. This is completely unscripted. I have no notes. I'm going off the top of my head. But I just want you to know that I think about this all the time because I'm engaged with health coaches and you, the listener, and my clients, and I myself as a practicing health coach who's marketing herself and, trying to make amazing transformations for my clients and figuring out where clients are. What is the industry like? What are the clients seeing? What are they being exposed to? What was being marketed to them? I really do think about this industry very totally. And the reason why I think this is a useful conversation is you get somebody like me who's a seasoned health coach, who's really in it, and maybe you're new or trying to grow. Now, you might not be. You might be listening to this and you also might be a seasoned health coach. By the way, if you are, I'd love to interview you for the podcast. Reach out at podcast@primalhealthcoach.com. I love having conversations with health coaches who are doing amazing things in the industry. But if you're trying to figure out how to be a health coach, you might not have the bandwidth to be as immersed in health coaching as maybe somebody who's more seasoned is. And I feel very immersed in it. So I'm coming from inside the industry, telling you what I see happening. These are predictions. These are simply predictions. So I have a few predictions of what I think is going to come up in 2026. I'm making moves in my own health coaching business to play to these hunches I have. I'm changing some things in my business, the way I operate. You don't have to take my advice, but it's good to think about. And the other thing I wanted to run through here, if there's time, we ran an end-of-year survey for our students and graduates at Primal Health Coach Institute and just asked them some questions about their educational experience and how their health coaching journey is going. Have you started a business? What are the log jams? What's going on? We want to get a sense of what our coaches are up to. And I got this one question back. I thought I would dive into this one. The question is, what are your biggest obstacles to coaching success right now? And it was an interesting question that came up back with some interesting answers that I think would be interesting to dive into. So let's do it. Let's start with this. Here's my predictions for health coaching in 2026. And I don't have a lot of predictions. I don't have a list. My main prediction is that there's going to be a subset of the health consumer, and I think it's going to be a large subset, more than half, who are going to become very fatigued by the marketing of it all. Okay, now here's the deal. We live on our phones. Yeah, I know. It's not the most healthy behavior, but we do. I do. Every time I open my phone, whether I'm doing something for work or I'm doing something to zone out and alter my mental state with some mindless scrolling. I admit it, I do it. Anytime I open my phone, I'm immediately being advertised to. Have you noticed this? I feel like all I see on my phone now is ads, either outright ads, somebody has paid to get their message in front of me. It's a sponsored post, or it's an ad, or it's an organic marketing message. You know, here's the 3 things nobody tells a woman about fat gain in midlife. You know, check the caption, comment the word below to get my free PDF download. These are all really viable marketing strategies, and I'm not disparaging them because I use them myself. Hello. I pay for ads. You might open up your phone and see my ad one day. I do pay for ads. The messaging of those ads, for example, has to be really specific because it does have to hook somebody, right? The hook has to hook them in to keep reading the ad and maybe click the button and maybe take the next step with me. And that's how I can help more people. And that's how I can help myself become a successful coach. And this is my job. You know, I have to work. So I liken it to, what if I just got a billboard on the main, thoroughfare in my city? Or what if I took out a newspaper ad? Well, I'm just doing it on Facebook. I'm paying to get my message in front of more people. I feel a certain kind of way about that. I feel it's a business necessity. And I also recognize that, wow, the consumer that I'm targeting is being targeted constantly. And I am trying to reconcile that, right? So I pay for ads. I post organic content in my social feeds. I'm trying to get people to, take the next step with me. That's what I need them to do so they can get the transformation that will change their life. That's what I need to do as a practitioner so that I can earn a living and make an impact, which is what I want to do, which is what we all want to do. It doesn't matter if you're a health coach or a shoe salesman or a dolphin trainer. You want to make an income and an impact in the world using your area of expertise, your profession. We're all doing it, right? So I'm trying to reconcile the fact that the person I want to call into my program is being called into everything. They're being called in from all angles. When they open their phone, they're being sold a program and a supplement and a peptide and a meal plan and an exercise plan and who knows what else. And it's sort of like whack-a-mole, for the consumer. I'm going to download this workout plan. I'm going to try this 21-day shred program. I'm going to try this supplement. I'm going to try. I call it miracle hopping. They're now miracle hopping from little cheap thing to little cheap thing. And now I'm a health coach, and you're going to work with me for 6 to 8 months or more. I have long-term coaching relationships. I don't have a little cheap thing to sell you. I'm actually trying to get you engaged in a long, powerful life transformation. So when I think about the health consumer who's being confronted with little miracles, I think to myself, how do I play in this miracle market? Well, now this is where my opinion comes in. So remember, I'm the host of this podcast. I get to share my opinions, but I'll try my best to share a different opinion too. I'll try to be well-rounded and sort of, steel man the other side a little bit. But I don't want to be part of the miracle market. I don't want to be offering some cheesy, flashy, crashy diet, supplement, plan, hack, peptide injection. I don't want to play in that industry. Maybe you do. So I'm going to try my best to come around to it and speak to that audience as well. I don't want to. So I had to decide, okay, this is what the health consumer is being confronted with. I either play into that or I play out of it. And I've decided to play out of it. Here's what I mean by that. I think there's a subset of the consumer who's going to say, oh my gosh, I've had enough of this. My phone is so annoying. I'm just going to throw this thing in the river and just be done with it. Like every time I open this up, someone's trying to peddle me a new miracle, and I've just spent $2,000 this last year on miracles and none of them worked. I'm so done. This industry is such garbage, just snake oil salespeople. I don't want people to think about our industry. So that's why I'm a little nervous about the miracle market, I'll call it. That person might say, I need something real. I'm ready to make a big move because all these little small moves, they just haven't panned out and I'm spinning my wheels. Now, when the person makes that decision to make a big move, I think they're contemplating an investment. And I don't mean an investment of money. I'm actually talking about an investment in time. They're going to pound the pavement and do some legwork. They're going to look into somebody and they're going to hook onto somebody and spend time vetting a professional, a practitioner, a program, whatever, for longer, rather than jumping to the miracle because it's cheap and it's been confronted you as you opened your phone and started to scroll. That sort of reactionary consumerism. I think people are being a little more intentional, or some people will be. Now, some people won't be. Some people are still going to be miracle hopping. But I don't want to work with the miracle hoppers. That's one of the reasons why we encourage you to decide who you want to work with and who you don't want to work with. I don't want to work with miracle hoppers. I want to work with people who are have a little more skin in the game in terms of time, energy, and money. So I think there's going to be the subset of the population that is aligned with me on that. Now, how do I position myself to be a trusted voice for the person who has plucked themselves out of the miracle marketplace? Here's what I'm doing. I'm doubling down on trust building and delivering value. So what that looks like, here's some examples. Number one, I'm posting everything to my Instagram feed. Everything goes on the feed. Now, if you speak the language of Instagram, when I say on the feed, in the stories, you know what that means, okay? If you don't speak the language of Instagram, let me just bring it up to speed. The feed is the little squares that you post with the picture, the video, and the caption. It's a post. It goes in the feed. Stories are more, here I am living my life. Here's a little 30-second snapshot of what I'm doing right now. Hey, I just made this for breakfast. Oh my gosh, look, it just snowed. Just, me living my life. And a lot of times we would compartmentalize the personal aspect of the coach or the practitioner in the stories, and then the more marketing message stuff, call to action-y stuff is in the feed. I'm putting everything in the feed. My life is going in the feed. My idiotic ramblings are going in the feed. My off-the-cuff, just kind of goofy hot takes are going in the feed. My feed is no longer a really curated business entity. Not that it ever was, quite frankly. I'm not that good at Instagram. But I just want my real life to be present in the feed. So if somebody is researching me or perusing me or getting to know me, they can see me teaching something. They can see me talking about how I work with clients. They can see me playing with my horses or, I don't know, working on my garden or something like that. They can start to like me. And I call this trust building. Hey, I'm a person living a life just like you. Here's what I look like. Here's my body. Here's my unfiltered face. Here I am. I'm real, just like you. I'm just a real person. I'm not some influencer. Now, when I don't want that to sound disparaging, because the influencer industry is amazing. It's an amazing opportunity. Amazing opportunity. I'm just not. I just don't have any affiliate brand deals. I'm not an influencer. I am a health coach. I do like to work with folks on their relationship with food, body, lifestyle inputs, improving their health. And I don't have any brands that I align with on that. I just like to work with people in relationships. But that comes through on my feed. You won't see a sponsored post. You're not going to see me hawking a workout clothing brand or a supplement. It's just not going to be there. But here I actually am. So everything goes in the feed. Another thing I'm trying to really commit to, and I'm terrible at this, is emailing my list more often. So, you have to build up an email list. That takes time. You collect emails. People opt in to be part of your email list. And once you have their name on the list, in a manner of speaking, you own that name. And that is an asset in your business. And I personally I just did a big email list clean out. I cleaned out 9,000 names of people who haven't opened an email from me in more than, I think, 2 years. So they're gone. And I'm left with about 14,000 people on my email list, which I'm feeling pretty good about. And I've worked my butt off to get those names on my email list. Either I nurtured them and they were interested enough in me to join my email list, or maybe I paid and they clicked an ad and joined my email list. But I don't email them very often. So I'm going to email my list more frequently. And here's the deal. I'm not going to kill myself to craft the perfect email. I'm going to write a 3-line email when I'm at the airport getting ready to board. Like, hey, I just had this thought at the airport. How to eat when you're traveling. Here it is. Blah. Send it. No call to action. No pitch. Oh, P.S. I got this free traveling eating PDF. You can click here to download it. No pressure. Like, no pressure. I'm not asking for sales everywhere. I'm just conversating with my audience, whether that's in my Instagram feed or my email list. Oh, I should go back to social media, because one of the parentheticals to my social media, talking about posting in the Instagram feed and writing emails, because to me, this is the same thing. If I'm going to put something in an email, I can make that into a post. If I'm going to put something as a post, I'm going to make it an email. Like this, just repurpose your content. Just put it everywhere. And one thing I'm going to try to do this year is get onto different social platforms. So I never cross post anywhere. I don't post to TikTok. I don't post to YouTube Shorts. I don't post to LinkedIn. My posts automatically go to Facebook, which is lucky. But I think cross posting is pretty easy. And I probably think it just makes sense to do it. So one thing that I want to develop some kind of system for is, okay, I've made this post. I put it in my Instagram feed. It went to Facebook. I'm also going to put it on TikTok. I'm also going to put it on YouTube Shorts. I'm going to put it on LinkedIn. I'm kind of zeroing in on LinkedIn a little bit this year because I feel like I want to work with a professional, established kind of woman client. So, I just want to put more content out there. That's what I call that trust building and delivering value. How can I deliver value? Now, speaking of delivering value, there's a couple other content types that I'm trying to double down on, and they end up being long form content, much like this. So in my health coaching business, I have a podcast, and it is talking head style. So kind of monologue, teaching, engaging. I am talking to camera. So those episodes go to YouTube. So I have long form content on YouTube. I'm building a YouTube presence. I'm not doing a great job. There's tons of YouTube strategy. And gang, I don't know anything about it. But here's where I go with this. And I hope this is a good pep talk for you. I just need to be on YouTube. I don't need to knock it out of the park. I just need to be on YouTube. Okay. Now that I'm on YouTube, maybe I can engage somebody like a YouTube coach. Those exist. A strategist of some kind to help me with my thumbnails or something so I get more subscribers. Yeah, great. That's a V2 project. V1 is just get your butt on YouTube. I really do think YouTube is a major trust engine. And especially when I go back to what I said earlier, which is we've got clients who are miracle hopping and getting sick of it. And they want something more real and more substantial. They want to spend some time with a person and get to know them. I really think YouTube and a podcast are, by the way, easy. I think they're easy. Yeah, there, I said it. I think that's one of the easiest things to do. A lot of people will say, I don't know what to post on social. And that's because social media feels like it has to be so exciting and entertaining. And wow, I hooked you. And look at this cute picture. And it's so perfect. And the music, I picked the perfect music. And the template's great. I feel like there's so much art direction required in an Instagram post, which by the way, there's not. Just post anything in your feed. Anything at all. I grant you permission to post even something crappy and unaesthetic and impertinent in your feed. I've been posting, I have a new young horse and I'm learning how to train her. I don't know how to train a horse, but I'm figuring it out. She's a baby, so I have lots of time. And I'm taking her for walks down the road. It's basically like posting it's like the equivalent of posting a dog walk in your feed, but for me, it's a horse. A horse is maybe a little bit more engaging than a dog. I don't know, but it's not relevant to my business at all, but it's who I am. Okay. So, but what I want to say is I actually think long form content on YouTube and a podcast, which is the same content, just published to 2 different platforms. You get a video, you get a microphone. Okay. Listen, I'll take you through my tech stack right here in case you're watching this on video. I have a Mac monitor, Mac Studio Display, it's called. It's hooked up to my MacBook computer. This is my tech stack. I'm a big time Mac lover. I don't know what the equivalent would be on a PC, but let me just tell you, the camera I'm looking at right now is the camera built into this monitor, and it's great. It's really nice. I'm using a platform called Riverside to record this. Riverside is amazing. It does this nice little camera sort of treatment where it looks like I've got this depth of field. So my background is blurred and I'm up front, crisply sort of focused. Riverside is also amazing for isolating the audio. So you can really improve the audio quality. But this microphone is also a game changer. This is a Shure microphone. This isn't the big baddie that like the real serious podcasters use. This is maybe the 2nd or 3rd string Shure microphone. And I got it off Amazon. And it plugs into an interface that plugs into my computer. I really recommend you get a light. I recommend you get a microphone and then some kind of a camera. And that's all you need because there's web tools now. Riverside is one. Descript is another one. These tools will take your recorded content and turn it into high quality YouTube videos and high quality podcast audio. And then all you have to do is send it out to the world. So post the video to YouTube, make a thumbnail in Canva. There's all kinds of ways to do it. Don't stress about it. Just anything will do for now. Just get your butt on YouTube. And then I'm using Spotify for creators myself to publish my audio and video podcasts to Apple and Spotify. Easy. It's so easy. I actually think this long form content is easier because it doesn't have to be as curated and polished. I'm literally riffing right now. I don't have a script. I'm just talking about something I care about. You could do that. That's easier to do, I think, for a lot of us because we're knowledge hungry types. We read, we devour media, we know a lot. We hear conversations. I mean, a lot of the things that I talk about on my podcast is something I overheard somebody say at the grocery store. I overheard somebody say at the gym, or my friend said this and I thought that was really interesting. And I'm just off the dome riffing. And then you put it up on YouTube, you put it on a podcast. You know what? I can't tell you how many client inquiries I've gotten since I got really serious about posting this long form content. And they'll say, I binged your whole YouTube channel. I binged your podcast. I don't have a huge library. I'm just building this up. But people binged it. They found it and they binged it. They watched every episode. So now they're getting to know how I talk, how I think, because I'm just thinking and talking on camera. I'm just thinking and talking on camera. I gotta tell you, what I'm doing right now, you could do. This does not take special skill. I'm sitting alone in my office by myself, talking into the void, basically, and just happen to be capturing it on a nice camera with a nice microphone. And it's going to be edited as well. So this podcast, Health Coach Radio, we have an editor that edits it. We'll take out all the rambling little junk words that don't need to be in here. I edit my own podcast, my personal podcast. I edit that myself. I'll run through and listen to it again, and I'll just trim things up and make it sound a little tighter. Sometimes I'm recording a podcast and I'm doing a lot of sitting and kind of like thinking quietly and saying, what should I talk about next? And I have a lot of dead air, but you can't tell because the finished product doesn't look like that. It's the magic of editing. I swear to you, I think this is a great opportunity for you. Start a YouTube channel in 2026. Start a podcast. Doesn't have to be amazing, just has to exist. And I think you'll like it. It will feel like you're doing something. And then you know what? Who else will like it is the consumer who is looking for something different than the cheap little miracle. I don't want to work with the person who is clicking a buy button on a Menno Belly supplement that they got a certain ad for. Oh, this will solve my belly fat. Menno Belly supplement. Ridiculous. I don't want to work with that person. If they clicked on a Menno Belly supplement, do not get on my calendar. I don't want to work with you. I want to work with a person who swiped left on the Menno Belly supplement, closed down Instagram or TikTok, went to YouTube, searched, watched, listened, interacted with me, listened to me, liked me enough. That's who I want to work with. So I have to be there when these folks are ready to make that move. This is my big prediction for 2026. Now, a lot of that was about marketing, but here's the sort of conclusion, which is what this all comes down to is the human to human connection. Yeah, no surprises. So I, like many people, think that AI and technology is actually incredible. It's amazing. I kind of like it. But there's a point of diminishing returns, shall we say. So for the people who are maybe nervous about how much of their life they're handing over to technology and are missing the human to human connection, well, that's where a health coach shines. That's what we are. We're not an app. We're not a meal plan. We're a person in a relationship with another person. And I do believe this human to human connection is going to become a major craving for the health consumer. So we're going to see things like more retreats, more live events. Oh, another thing I'm doing, which is along this line, I'm offering free workshops every second week. I've got these things booked in my calendar until the end of August so far. Every second Monday, I'm hosting a free workshop, just kind of like this on Zoom, where I'm going to teach something to anybody who wants to come. And I'm not selling them anything. There's no pitch. There's no call to action. It's like, hey, we're here to talk about, ways to get more protein at breakfast. Or, hey, we're going to talk about, why it seems like you're gaining belly fat in midlife. I'm going to teach you what I know. You can ask me some questions. We'll just keep it nice and light. Come on in, free workshop. Everyone's invited. Now, parenthetically, I'll be recording those and putting them on YouTube and posting them to my podcast. So it's a win-win-win-win-win because it's me delivering value, free content, trust building, content creation, long-form content creation, human-to-human connection. It checks a lot of boxes. Also because it's a no-pitch workshop. I mean, I'm calling it a no pitch workshop because there's nothing I'm pitching at the end. Nothing. If you like this workshop, then click here to get my guide, my $27 guide to breakfast. Like, I'm not doing it. It's simply just a workshop. And that's the human to human piece. And that's to speak to the person who's actually fatigued out of being advertised to. I want them to have a safe place to land where we can have human connections and conversation. Those are some big moves I'm making in my business this year. My program isn't changing. My avatar client's not changing. The way I run my systems isn't changing. It's the way I put myself out there is changing. Now, at the beginning of this talk, I promised that I was going to jump into what some of our students shared in our end of year survey, but now I've been talking for 30 minutes. I think I'm going to pause and I'll do that episode next week. So I think it's a good continuation of where health coaches are feeling their obstacles. So stay tuned for that one in a couple weeks' time, maybe. But in the meantime, my rally cry for you is, if it feels aligned, zero in on this human-to-human connection. Think more long-form content, more trust building, more delivering value. And I wanted to make sure that I came back around and sort of, like I said, steel man the other side of this, which is if you are in the part of the industry that is more influencer marketing and low ticket offers, inexpensive downloads, PDF, ebook, supplements, products, selling. If that's a business model that works for you, I do think there's fully half the market that is looking for that as well. I really do. Isn't that interesting? You can have a preference one way or the other. Do I want the sort of short, sharp, cheap, inexpensive flash solutions for people who want something now? Or am I feeling more like slow burn? I want to build relationships. I want to really nurture and guide people. They're both viable business models and they're both fine. They're both completely relevant. And there's an audience for both. So that's just my prediction. It's been an interesting one. It's been interesting to see the speed at which the health consumer is evolving. And we have a lot of things in the market at play. Again, technology, medications. But to me, I'm not worried about AI. I'm not worried about GLP-1s. I don't lose any sleep over that. The only thing I think about that is problematic is the amount of selling that the health consumer is on the receiving end of. And that's an exhausting experience to have everybody selling you something at all times. So my hunch is I'm going to just back off on that. Hey, I'm here when you're ready. Let's just hang out and talk. When you're ready, I am here. And I got to tell you, I think it's going to work. I'll keep you posted.